Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League Season 13 for round number 14 of the Championship, the Belgian Grand Prix at the historic Spa-Francorchamps. My name is Zach RC. Good to have you along with us for tonight's race. Looking forward to this one in particular as it's my birthday today, so I'm hoping that these guys can give us a good race to entertain us for the next couple of hours or so. For now, the qualifying getting underway, and we're seeing the first car come out to the track as the number 2 McLaren of Atty, who's making to my knowledge, his RDL debut as a reserve for tonight's race, so should be exciting to see what he can do. I just need to turn my game sound back up, so I'm sure what's going on there. There we go. Problem solved. Right, off we go. So yeah, qualifying getting underway. Not sure as to whether it's going to be a dry or a wet race, but it should be quite exciting regardless. Seeing the first 3 cars now on the racetrack. Ethan in the Red Bull quickly following the McLaren. Of course, in terms of the Drivers' Championship, both Salve Blaze and Salve Landlord are around. However, there's no sign of Che Oliver or C110P fan in the order. So it's a huge opportunity here for the Salves to go back at it in terms of the championship lead, where Blaze leads Landlord by 11 points. As it stands, as Curtis Shepard retiring from the session in the pit lane. I think both him and Sniper Hunter have qualifying bans, to my knowledge. They'll be serving those tonight. So keep our eye on Atty here, running the special livery McLaren. Run at the Singapore and Japanese Grand Prix of recent weeks. Making his way now through the last sector on his way round to begin the first lap of tonight's qualifying session. I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, so I'll do my best as to commentating. Here comes Atty now towards the last corner to start off the lap. Foot to the floor now as he begins the first run over the line and up towards the first corner. La Source, very tight right-handed, to stick right to the left-hand side, braking around the 100-meter board into turn number 1. Doesn't get on the curbs too much. Staying off them on the entry, but off the exit definitely using as much as he can, making his way down towards the famous Eau Rouge, making his way up the hill now. Very difficult corner to get right. Brilliant job there from the McLaren as he makes his way now down the straight and heading down towards the next right hand. I think it's way back to where Sebastian Vettel got Lewis Hamilton the start in the 2018 Belgian Grand Prix. 30.090 the first split, so not too bad a start in the slightest for the McLaren. Keeping an eye on Ethan behind. Back down the hill again into that left-hander there. Not getting the curbs too much. It's very, very smooth as it stands. Heading into the next left-hander. It's a very dangerous spot. You could potentially spin out if you're on the curbs too much. So have to look out for that, especially on the start when everyone's all bunched up. Making his way now towards the next chicane. Again, staying off the curbs. At least into the right hand and the left hand, all over them. And making his way towards that second sector split. Oh, a bit of a skid there from McLaren. That'll cost him a tenth or two. 1 minute 16.1 as it stands. He enters the final sector on this lap. Yellow flag 62 off one of the Haas cars. Coming through the last couple of corners now into the final chicane. After that first time, the banker lap is going to be for Atty. Oh, almost loses the car out the last corner. Over the line, 1 minute 45.2. Here comes Ethan behind, 1 minute 43.5. So Ethan sets the fastest time to start off this session. And we're waiting now. Next car through is the championship leader of Salve Blaze. Out the final corner, I feel much improvement. 1 minute 42.8. The Alpine driver goes fastest. I mean, that's the benchmark for Landlord to try and beat. However, he's invalidated his first lap, so that's not the best of starts to qualifying. Yellow flag for the back. That is the Williams. Excuse me, that is the Haas of. That is Huggy Bear in the Haas machine. As Wardy made his way past, keeping things slow and perhaps trying to rebuild the ERS. Not around him on track, so he can afford to do this. He's got a couple more corners left to go for the start of the next lap. Got about half a battery of ERS. He's going to go for it for a second time now. Off he goes over the line. The majority of cars out on the track here. Southern Landlord back in the pits. Zach Sherman, Websy and Courtney Goblin, both Ferraris there back in are in the pit lane. Got BJ with the next car to cross the line. He's been a bit slower there. As PJ Khaled goes third. Brilliant lap from the Haas machine. And we are missing a Red Bull here tonight. That Red Bull being Paris Teeth. Oh, excuse me, we're not missing Red Bull. Sniper Hunt's the other Red Bull. He's been disqualified from. No, disqualified. He's been retired from qualifying. I'm just getting my words mixed up. So it's going brilliantly here. BJ's gone fifth though, won at 53.9 because he backed off considerably in the last sector. One of the Aston Martins coming through. That's Ericsson. Making a run. He's invalidated his lap, so we'll focus now on the car behind, that being Prolol. Here he comes now, out of the last corner. Not the best of laps there, but enough for P4 for now. Next car to come towards the line is Alvar. As Blaze heads back into the pits after a very impressive first run. Alvar goes second fastest there. Brilliant stuff from the Williams driver. Alvar, 27 points to his name, 5 points behind his teammate Iwardy, who's on a lap himself. He comes towards the line, goes sixth fastest. Alvar out qualifying his teammate for the time being. And Pope now joining the session in the other AlphaTauri. So with BJ and Pope in the cars, the AlphaTauri is looking like a strong lineup. Pope has a special reserve for tonight's race. Waiting now for the next few cars to come through. One of the AlphaTauris. That is BJ around for a second attempt. Minute 53 was his first effort. Over the line, P5, not too bad at all. Putting himself just a 10th in front of PJ Khaled. Already now 7th. Lycon with no front wing here. Not quite sure what's happened to the McLaren there, but not a good sign for the McLaren driver. He'll have to return to the pit lane here to bolt on a fresh front wing in order to go back at it. Lycon now back into the pits. Actually, it looks like quite a good first sector there. Here's Landlord back out on the racetrack. He's looking to try and it looks like he's backed off in the first sector. But looking to try and beat. Oh, he's invalidated there. Things quickly falling apart here for Landlord. Just under 9 minutes to go. We're really roaring through this qualifying session early on. Yellow flag. That's one of the AlphaTauris back there. That being BJ. Only 10 drivers have been set valid time so far. Lano 1 minute 15.8 out of the second sector. Zach Sherman's on his way back through. Could he get a good toe off his teammate Ericsson in the third and final sector? That remains to be seen. So it looks like he's also backed off as well. Making his way now to that last sector. So it's not going to be a brilliant lap to start with as Ericsson moves out of the way. There's actually off into the pits. I think Ericsson, well no, Ericsson is not planning on joining, he's on that lap. Here comes the Aston Martin driver towards the line. 4 points to his name since coming back to the league. Good start to the lap so far. We'll be able to see if Ericsson can keep it up. Making his way down that straight. Gear 8 here, just about hitting 200 miles an hour. As he charges towards that right-hander. 30.630, the first sector. Going at one of the McLarens there in front of him. That being Lycon on outlap. ATM retired from the session. I've been told that is Alfie Thatcher used to be in the league. So nice little return to him. He's currently sits in 9th place at the moment, and with him retired from the session, that might be the best he gets. 6.5 minutes left to go. Still waiting on Landlord to set a time. Of course, the poor qualifying was potentially a huge part of his downfall in last week's race at Hungaroring. Ericsson now to the last corner. Home for a good exit here. Can't be too aggressive though. Towards the line, might be 1 minute 44 here, and it is. It puts in P8. Just in front of Prolol, but about half a tenth behind Iward. He's coming back round to the line. Oh, he almost loses the car right there. He's going again. He's got a full tank of ERS. Off he goes. Lycon out on the racetrack. Get as much toe as he can off the Williams there, just in front of him. Aston Martin also moving out of the way. So Lycon now unfortunately invalidated. Here comes Prolol. Oh, he's half a second up here at the end of this second sector. This could be one to watch. A lap that could potentially put him up as high as the second row. We'll have to see if he can pull it off. Into the final corner now. There's a very good lap here for the Alfa Romeo. He comes towards the line. It's been enough for P4 by 2/10, knocking JP out of those top 2 rows and down into 5th place. With BJ still alongside him. 1 minute 44.1 for the Alfa Tauri driver. It's about 10th back to PJ Callan in 7th. We reach it the last few minutes and we're still waiting on Landlord to set a time with 4 minutes to go. Invalidating again. Things really not looking good for him as it stands. The track limit's really hurting some of these drivers lower down in the order. There's Lycon on a lap still. It's going again. Connie Goblin Pope's on the pits. Websy, Zach Sherman and Lando. We're all waiting on them to also set times. Websy now out of the final corner and charging down towards the line. Prolol retiring. Websy goes 4th as he does so, knocking Prolol down the order by 1. Blaze still sits on pole position, knows be able to challenge his 1 minute 42. Alvar's at a lap here, he could try and pull it off. And Ethan is on a lap just in front of him as well. It's under 3 minutes to go now. Zach Sherman at the last corner is invalidated again. He's got a full tank of ERS though, so we'll be able to go again. Out turn 1, good exit. Grab board in here. Here he comes now. Lap still valid as he makes his way down towards that first sector split. 29.8. That's a great split there to start the lap off. We're hoping there'll be no mistakes so it doesn't invalidate now. Oh, he's gone wide there. That may cost him a tenth or two. Down into the right-hander. Hoping not to go wide. Narrowly kept it on the edge and carried on. Making his way now through that second sector. A little bit wide, but again, keeping it right on the limit and not getting any warnings for track limits. I'm at 15.7. His second sector. And this is shaping up to be quite a good lap, I'm thinking. Websy retiring from fourth. Into the last corners now. It's a good looking lap. Can he finish it off? Puts himself P6. Not too bad. A minute to go. Landlord on his outlap. It shouldn't be a question as to whether or not he gets round to the line. The question is, can he pull it all out the bag with one single lap? And Blaze is out on the track as well, so he could theoretically still improve. Never mind. JB retires P7. Reynolds over the line then to start what will be his first and final lap of qualifying. Checker flag now fallen. Who can upset the order? Comes Alvar out of the last corner towards the line. Doesn't improve, stays P3, but still a good qualifying from Ethan into the pits. Blaze almost 2 tenths up now. He's invalidated there, so that'll be his chances done. Could Landlord potentially have anything left to say? Here he comes now, passing his teammate. He'll be able to do that in the order as well. Just keeping an eye on this final lap. Lycon making his way down towards the line. He's 4 tenths down. Huggy Bear has invalidated. Ericsson's lap state is still valid at the moment. It's Landlord just behind. Still waiting on quite a few more cars to set times, however some of them have backed off. Landlord at the final corners. Ooh, a bit of a skid there from the Alpine as he gets towards the line. I don't think he'll be able to do it. See, pole position for Blaze, at least compared to his teammate. Landlord starting 13th. And again, a poor qualifying, at least by his standards. I'm sure I doubt he'll be too happy with that. Could be the difference between who wins today. As BJ goes second there. BJ knocking both Ethan and Alvar onto the second row. Xavier Blaze on pole though for the Belgian Grand Prix. So very exciting into qualifying. There is your top 10 order. So Blaze starts on pole. Will be BJ alongside him on the run to turn number 1. Ethan, Alvar, Websy, Prolol, PJ Khaled, Zach Sherman, JB and Ericsson, your top 10. So that will be back in a few moments then for the start of the race itself. Well then, here we go again. And it's raining here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. So, same as last season, it's looking like it's going to be a wet Belgian Grand Prix. Last time we were here, Sally Blaze romped to victory from pole position, and it could genuinely happen again. We're just waiting now to get the formation lap underway. Which will be underway in a moment's time here. We're about to begin the countdown. Drivers getting their setups ready so that we are good to go for the race itself. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, it's 11 points separating Subway Blaze from Landlord at the top of the table. And it could expand with Blaze on pole and Landlord down in 13th. A 37-point lead, could potentially 38, could await Subway Blaze if he can win today's race and Landlord fails to score. However, I wouldn't count him out. So I say it's all to play for here tonight. And it's my birthday, so I'm hoping that they give us a good race to watch, at least from my end. So without further ado then, let's get down onto the racetrack for the start of the race itself. It's the RDL Season 13 Belgian Grand Prix.
Right then, the formation lap has started. And I must say the weather conditions aren't the best today for visibility and for grip. As each driver performs this lap, they'll be wanting to settle in and concentrate, as this race, in these conditions, will require a lot of focus.
And he could not be more correct. He's turning the starting tyres, F1 on the intermediates. And Blaze will now lead the pack at the last corner and towards the start line. Line up on the grid with BJ in the AlphaTauri alongside him. Ethan and Alvar line up together on row number 2. The leaders now lining up, taking their places at the front of the grid. Waiting out for the last cars at the back. The AlphaTauri, Red Bull, the AlphaTauri, and the Mercedes. The final 3 cars. So you're going to 5 red lights for round number 14 of the championship, the Belgian Grand Prix. The lights on. Blaze and BJ lead the run to turn number 1. Lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. We're chasing our way down towards, or up towards La Source. BJ's got a brilliant start on the outside. It looks like he needs to take the lead into turn 1. He goes side by side with the Alpine of Salve Blaze, who gets the exit of that first corner. He'll lead out to the first turn, heading up towards Eau Rouge for the first time. BJ falls back into line. Pronal now up into 3rd place. He's passed both Ethan and Alva on the start. The Alfa Romeo driver's done brilliantly on this opening lap so far. Up the hill, any instance further back. Oh, there goes PJ Callaghan going a little bit wider, a bit there. Joseph position further back in this mid part of the field. Landlords is trying to move up. See his cars in front there. There goes Ati with a very dangerous move at the inside. Will it pay off? I doubt it will. Oh, that's come very close to going around. And Blaze already. Salve Blaze out. Salve Blaze out at turn 1. Prolo leads. And what on earth happened there? I'm so sorry we actually ended up missing that. Well, last season's winner, Salve Blaze, now out of the race. Virtual safety car deployed. And on the first lap, the championship leader down the order and the first car out of this Belgian Grand Prix. What on earth happened? So it's Prolol who now show the way for the restart. No idea as to what went wrong. So yeah, apologies for that. We're down to just 18 cars now in this Grand Prix. All of a sudden, the championship picture for Landlord looking a lot prettier. As the green flag gets back out, we go back to racing. Landlord already dropping down to P11 there. JB's got a brilliant start. He's already chasing Ati there for the 9th spot. JB goes a bit wide though. That's going to allow Landlord back into the picture. Around the outside as they're going towards that final chicane. He might try and get the job done with McLaren as well. Prolol sets the first lap of the race. Ati down into the pit lane. Might have damage. I can't see any reason why he pit this early on. Perhaps he was involved. Not sure he's involved in the contact with Blaze. He may have just spun out on his own, but he's already out after that first lap. Very unfortunate for him. Prolol leads. BJ in second, Ethan third. There's your position change. Prolol's been up 5. It's been a brilliant opening lap for him. He's gained the most places of anyone. Number of drivers who have gained 4 places. Those drivers being Ericsson, Landlord, Courtney Goblin, and Pope. Atti's lost 4 places going into the pit lane. Huggy Bear joined him in the pits for Haas. So Blaze out already. I'm sure nobody expected that. BJ closing in on Prolol here. These two are trying to scooch away from the pack. Ethan and Alvar sit 2.5 seconds behind, more or less. Well, Prolol suddenly in a position to win. Only 2 points to his name this season in the Drivers' Championship. He's taking on BJ, proven race winner in the RDL, around a wet Spa-Francorchamps. This could be a very, very exciting race indeed. There's your predicted pit stop strategy. We're thinking it could be a 1-stop or a 2-stopper. Well, it's looking like it'll be wet the majority of the way. Yellow flag sector 2, and that is Huggy Bear's gone around again. Can't see any damage on the car, so he might have gotten away with it. Yellow flag further back, and that's Zach Sherman who's gone around his no front wing as well. Things quickly falling apart for the Aston Martin driver, who's now down to 16th. Back up front, about 7/10 between, or half a second now between Prolol and BJ, who sets the fastest lap. So we begin lap number 3 of the race, up to turn 1. I'll be very close between these two down these next streets. No DRS for the time being. Landlord now sitting the fastest lap. He runs in P8. Back up out of our Rouge. Zach Sherman into the pits to replace that front wing. Hoping for Aston Martin to deliver him a quick stop to get him out in potentially in front of Atti and maybe or in front of Huggy Bear and potentially Atti as well. I doubt he will go out in front. And there goes Pope, who's spun out as well. Touchy Pope out of Eau Rouge. Any damage to Alpha Terra? I think he may have just gotten away with it. Out of turn 1. It's been very tight. There goes Atti. Make his way out into P16. Huggy Bear will be in last place for the time being. There's Prolol now. Still about 4/10 clear of BJ. It's Ethan being chased by Ericsson. Who started in 10th. He's now up to 4th place. It's a brilliant start from him these opening few laps. Already the pack splitting up a decent amount here. Everyone's trying to stay on the track for the time being. Of course, they're able to push themselves to the limit in qualifying. However, in the race, not really the case as much. There's Wardy, still there, right there on the back of Courtney Goblin in the Ferrari. Lycon now holds the last point scoring place. He's trying to close in on JB. I think he actually is helping himself out against the Mercedes man. And Lando, as up there in 8th, he put himself about 3 seconds clear of JB. Prolol setting the fastest lap now, 1 minute 56.039, and Alvar now taking it for himself. Remember, that's 1 extra point fastest lap as Landlord now swiping that extra point. A point that, given today's circumstances, could prove very helpful. With that fastest lap, a 5th place finish will be enough for him to tie the championship lead. A 4th place finish, regardless of whether he has fast lap or not, will be enough to take it outright. Yellow flags for the back, and who is that for? I said BJ's got no front wing there. What on earth has happened? He's backing off. BJ there all of a sudden struggling, and Prolol by 3.6 seconds now leads this race. So what's happened there? Is he run into the back of the Alfa Romeo? Not 100% sure exactly how or if they came together. As Landlord's chase continues, he's looking around trying to pass Websy. Going for that slow in, fast out approach. He's looking to the outside. Can't quite make it happen. Oh, Landlord. Oh, losing a little bit there. Bit of a struggle there against Websy, but managed to get the job done. Landlord owns 6th place with BJ coming into the pits to repair that front wing. Prolo now leads by 4.5 seconds over Ethan against Ericsson going to the inside at turn number 1. Out of La Source. Ethan has the edge. Pope now setting the fastest lap, 1 minute 55.4. Alvar's going to give it another shot. Gets back up to third. He's got a brilliant run there. We used that ERS. If he was any closer, you could have made a run on Ethan as well. PJ Cowler is on there in 5th place with Landlord now about to give chase. He's using that battery to his advantage. The ERS crucial here on in these wet conditions with no DRS in play. Curtis Shepherd, he's on the move. He's gained 8 places throughout this Grand Prix so far. He's gained more than anyone else. We're only on lap 5 of this one. A lot of racing still to be done here. I'm thinking pit stops will be fairly routine for all of these drivers. God's looking to add a 9th pass to his collection of overtakes from this race so far. Ati gets the first penalty, the 3-second time penalty of the night for multiple warnings. The Ferrari doing enough to keep him in front for the moment. Courtney Goblin a little bit deeper there. Curtis got a good run off that last corner if he uses his battery to his advantage. So across the line to start at number 6. Let's go very late on the brakes until 1. And Courtney Goblin's given the opportunity. He may have locked up a little bit there. Pope sets the fastest lap further back. Side by side between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. They make the way towards Eau Rouge. And it's Courtney Goblin who has the edge. Back up front, Alvar looking to have a go again at Ethan. But still can't make it happen. Alvar, like I said, can't make anything happen against Ethan. Lano's out to the 5th though. The chase continues for him. As of right now, he sits 1 point behind Blaze in the Drivers' Championship. His tool turned on its head, just like that. As Ericsson gets back around Alvar, that's allowed Ethan to pull away to a 1 second gap. And Prolo, still trying to expand his lead, he's got up to 5 seconds at this stage. Landlord is on the chase here. Landlord now setting the fast lap to begin lap number 7 of this race. About a second back from Alvar. Yellow flag, sector 3. That's Zach Sherman out of the race. And the safety car now being deployed. And this is where things get interesting. A few cars to the pit lane. There's the Aston Martin safety car. Makes its way onto the racetrack. Wardy into the pits for what will be a fresh set of medium tyres. So could that mean the weather is clearing up a bit? Or could this be a risk that just doesn't pay off? So Prolin will then lead at the safety car, but I doubt he'll be too pleased with that, considering that lead is being cut down quite dramatically here. Zach Sherman out of the race. Wardy running in the 16th spot there on medium tyres, and that will be the main play by the looks of it here, because it does look like potentially the weather is drying up a little bit. No sign, no hint of blue sky anywhere. Not to be seen. Prolon now slowing up to make sure he adheres to the delta time. He comes to the pits. Let's see what play he makes. If he puts on a fresh set of dry tyres, then we should know that we'll know that the weather is in fact clearing up. However, if he goes and puts on another set of intermediate tyres, we'll know what the game is for him. It's medium tyres, so it does look like the mediums are going to be the main choice here to try and get these guys to the end of the race here on lap number 8. I would think we'll be getting going in about around lap 10 maybe, potentially lap 11. And the medium tyres will definitely go the distance on that front. However, Alvar has made the choice to stay out. He stays on the racetrack, and that could be a decision which costs him further up the line. Ericsson and Landlord onto both on sets of hard tyres. Everyone else going to pits is on mediums. JB and Atty also staying out. Hockey Bear choosing not to pit either. So, the only driver who stayed on those same tyres this whole race is Alvar. He now leads the way. Prolol runs in second. I'm assuming these guys are all banking on the track drying a lot quicker than it has been. However, I see no reason why it wouldn't. It looks like it's definitely stopped raining as much. So Ethan now back there in third, Ericsson fourth, PJ Caleb fifth, excuse me, and Lando in sixth. Obviously down there in 7th, Lark on 8th. JB, the only driver, or one of two drivers to stay consistent with his starting position. He's currently in 9th. And Ethan, up there in 3rd, is also in the same place where he qualified. Atty is sitting in the last point position. Connie Goblin sits 11th, Sniper Hunter 12th, Curtis Shepherd 13th, Pope 14th, Wardy 15th, BJ 16th. Unfortunate for him, but he's got an opportunity now to try and work his way back to the field to try and claim a point scoring finish. Huggy Bear 17th. Of course, the two drivers out of the race, Zach Sherman and Salve Blaze, the pole sitter, out early on. As of right now, only two drivers have penalties as it stands. Atty has 6 seconds, Courtney Goblin has 3. And I see no reason why we can't be getting going on lap number 9 of this race. So the question really is, how will Alvar play the start here? Because he's one of 4 drivers still on intermediate tyres. However, I doubt that he can keep on for that long. How long can he go before bolting on a fresh set of tyres? I'm thinking his plan is to go later into the race, hope it takes a while to get dry, and then goes to the end on potentially a set of soft tyres if he can. However, I doubt that will happen. He needs to stay out for a few more laps in order to really stand a chance. And the fact that he hasn't pitted under the safety car means he'll be banking on another one. Safety car in this lap then, here we go. Right, so the question is, as I said, how will Alvar play this one? With the track getting drier and drier, those inters could still be in good enough nick from to hold the lead. But for how long? Because that track will dry. Prolol's been incredibly quick so far today, and I wouldn't count out Landlord. He's right he's back there in 6th place. He can definitely turn up the heat incredibly quickly. Almost at the flick of a switch. But when does Alvar get going? I think he might try and leave it till he gets out the last corner. 17 cars left in the running. 13 laps to go. The green flag now back out, and Alvar getting away quite well there. And he's already pretty much more or less a second clear as they get to turn 1. And he could not have timed that better as JB and Websy got out of La Source and back down towards Eau Rouge. And there goes a Red Bull going wide in the back. That Sniper Hunter. You have to get back on the track quickly there. Chestnut managed to filter back in. We'll keep our eye on those 4 drivers on intermediates right now. Looks like they've got the advantage as PJ Khaled goes wide there just in front of Landlord. JB around the outside of 1. Around the outside of 2 potentially if he can get the job done against PJ Khaled. They're going into the left-hander. PJ backs out. So intermediate tyres, so no slouches yet in this race. They've all done quite well for themselves. Bit of chaos further back. Oh, and there goes one of the Ferraris. That's Courtney Goblin almost going off into the barriers. And that could have put him out of the race. So managed to hold on to it just about. Alvar now in a 2.5 clear of Prolol, who's almost a 2.5 clear himself of Ethan in 3rd place. So I get the feeling Alvar's banking on there being another safety car. He'll lose. He's gained track position. However, he does need to come in for a pit stop because that track is quite dry at this stage. It's really getting there. There are no blue skies around the area just yet. It's still looking quite overcast. However, those medium tyres will eventually really come into play. For now though, JB is the other driver on intermediate tyres, 1 of 4, and he's giving chase to Ericsson, trying to get the job done on him. He's got a brilliant run, the Aston Martin. It's almost been shut off by the green machine as he comes to the last chicane now. The pair goes side by side. Great racing, nice and clean. JB gets the job done. Alvar now has the fastest lap in his possession. I think the plan is for him to gain as big a lead as he actually can and then pit. Speaking of pitting, Holy Bear's in. The first of those 4 intermediate tyre runners after the safety car into the pits. For what's looking like a fresh set of hard tyres. Huggies away. But it appears that Alvar and JB aren't struggling. Neither is Atti. He's up to 7th place. He's got Landlord just behind him. So Landlord hasn't got away brilliantly. Oh, and there goes Atti. Around he goes, he's reset. At perhaps the worst possible time there. And I'm sure someone will have something to say about that. He's down to P14 now. And his next job. Oh, there goes BJ off the track. No front wing again. It's deja vu for the AlphaTauri driver. Has to go back to the pits now for a fresh front wing. Find he can make it back. Landon up into 7th. Alvar being reeled in now by Prolol, who's got himself back within a second. That Alfa Romeo driver is dangerously quick. JB with a 3-second time penalty. There's the sign for both these two to come into the pits here. Prolol now retaking the lead. JB still staying out one more lap. Let's wait and see what Courtney Goblin does. He's allowing Slab Hunter around his outside. Oh, that was very close to contact. I think it might have actually made contact there. Red Bull and Ferrari side by side in the run towards that first corner. Now, why can't we see more of this in real life F1 just for the lead? Around the outside, it'll be Slab Hunter trying to get good traction off the corner. I don't see why he shouldn't against an intermediate tired car. Alvar and BJ now into the pits as well. That front wing being changed once again. It's a fresh set of mediums. Atty, another 3-second time penalty. Lycon set the fastest lap. Prolol currently in the lead by 2.5 seconds. Sniper Hunter with a penalty of his own. So halfway through this thing now. We've still got 10 laps to go. Wardy and Courtney both with penalties of their own as well. Yellow flag 6-2, and that's Wardy out. Oh, that doesn't look the nicest of impacts there for the Williams. He's off on the outside of the track, not disturbing anyone. DRS now enabled. And this is where things get interesting. But Wardy out of the race. We're down to 16 cars. Ericsson around the outside. JB, I think, might just call it here. He's had enough. Off to the pits he goes. Which means Ericsson will have DRS. As will PJ, as will Landon, as will Websy. Pope has nothing of it. Curtis Shepherd could go on the chase here in the other Mercedes. Courtney Goblin and JB both in. As is Atty. Into the pit lane once more. Change been made. There he goes. PJ Card passing Ericsson. Excuse me. Landlord getting past Websy as well. So chase continues. Landlord now, who holds fastest lap? It's Prolol. One more place for Landlord to be able to give him the championship lead by 1 point over his teammate. These last few weeks, it's been a struggle for Alpines to get both cars to the end of the race. Regardless, they've still got quite a large Constructors' Championship lead due to the fact they run 1-2 in the drivers' standings. Around 3 seconds between Prolol and Ethan. That gap now closing a bit. Ericsson looking to try and get back at PJ. Connie Goblin, the only driver on the track still on intermediates. Does he know something we don't? Poor exit from PJ. Ericsson could go at him. But he sets the fastest lap regardless. 1 minute 49.4, and Pope now has it as well. Yellow flag and JB's out. And what could this mean for the race? Safety car has been deployed for the second time tonight. JB out of the race. That's a horrible looking crash there. Connie Goblin getting a drive through for spinning under the safety car. I'll be back in just a moment. Right, sorry about that everyone, I'm now back. So safety car then has been deployed for the second time tonight. Now on lap number 15. As a result, JB is out of the race. So very unfortunate for him. Down to just 15 cars in the running. Only got 7 laps to go. So a couple cars into the pits here. Courtney Goldman taking advantage of the fact there's been a safety car, so he may have played this to a T. Curtis, Websey and Pope all on soft tyres now. Those guys could really be an advantage here in terms of tactics. However, Prolol's been ridiculously quick so far today. So I can definitely see him finishing the job and winning this race. I wouldn't count out anyone behind him though. I wouldn't count out Landlord especially. He's been a bit he's had a bit of a challenge here, like I said, back to the pack from 13th. He's done a brilliant job of it. He just needs one more place to secure the championship lead. However, I'm sure he'd like to leave today with a victory and a bigger advantage over his teammate in the Drivers' Championship than the deficit he came here with. He was 11 points back. He could go 14 in front to my account. Potentially 15 in front with that fastest lap. We're just waiting now for the last cars to come round and join the pack. We're waiting on 6 of them here. Able to go back to racing. Prolol and Ethan, they've been the two to watch throughout the day up front. Done a fantastic job, both of them, to keep themselves in that race for the lead. Prolol's done a brilliant job taking advantage from the retirement of Blaze. Come off the last corner, we're just waiting on Alvar and Lycon to catch back at the pack. So it looks like we'll have 6 laps to go when we get back to racing. BJ back into the pits for soft tyres as is. Sorry, no, just BJ in the pits. BJ, the last car now to catch up to the back of the pack. We'll be able to go back to racing again. So Prolo leading back to the restart. It'll be Ethan, PJ, Ericsson, Landlord, Pope, Websey, Curtis, Sniper Hunter, and Atty are currently the last driver in the points paying places. Connie Goblin, Huggy Bear, Alvar, Lycon and BJ are the final 5. Waiting for the message now, and there it is, safety car in this lap. So 6 laps to decide who wins this one. And when does Prolol choose to go? He may go the Alvar approach. Alvar back there in P13. A couple of places away from the points. Prolol trying to win for the first time. Ethan there in second, to my knowledge, also trying to win for the first time. PJ Callagher there in third, Ericsson fourth, Landau fifth. Only needs one more place to secure the championship lead. That or the fastest lap to tie. Prolol looking to get away as quick as he can. 6 more laps to go to decide the Belgian Grand Prix. We're back on the way here at Spa. Again, another good restart from the race leader on the run towards the source. It's got almost a second already. Curtis passing Websy, BJ getting to work immediately, making a move past Lycon. And a couple of laps time, lap number 19 is when things will start to get interesting because DRS will be enabled for the first time after a restart in this race. We've had it enabled for a few laps now. Landau following the toe of Pope, who's doing a brilliant job up there in 5th place. It's the highest of those soft tyre runners. I can definitely see him trying to pull something off. It'll be difficult for Landau to swipe the fastest lap when Pope's on those fresh softs. It'll be tough to beat. Lycon, 3-second penalty. Prolol's already jumped out to a 1.4 second lead. He's been dominant throughout today, so he's taking the lead off of Blaze. He's led almost the entire way. Pope on the attack here, looking to the outside. Absolutely breezing past Ericsson as they make their way into the right-hander. PJ Callagher will be his next target. He's about 4/10 back from the Haas machine. It's a Red Bull and an Alfa Romeo. And all that's separating for the lead. Landau will be looking to get right to work here. Now he needs 2 places. One of which could be hard to claim for the moment because Pope has it. He's on the attack. Around the outside of PJ Callagher. No matter how much pace the AlphaTauri has right now. You'd think it was season 12 the way the AlphaTauri's been running. Up into 3rd place now. And Landau back down to 8th. What on earth's gone wrong for him? Must have made a mistake, got shoved out, wedged out in some way. Prolol now has the fastest lap of the race. He's 5 laps away from winning. Curtis Shepherd and Ericsson go at it. Aston Martin round the outside. The 2 soft tyre runners struggling here compared to Pope. Back up the hill. Oh, and Ericsson jumping back. Landlord, unable to see fit to take advantage. He's down there in P8 with 10 lap old hards. Now the mediums on the 2 leaders will start to run out soon. And Pope, the season 11 champion, who to my knowledge is yet to win a race this season. However, I could be wrong as I wasn't here for the first 6. Pope on his way to potentially dispatching both of our top 2 runners from these first 18 laps. PJ Callagher doing everything he can to stay within DRS range. That might be the only way when the DRS gets enabled that he'll keep Websy and Curtis behind him. Those 2 on the soft tyres. Even if Pope does catch Ethan and pass him, it's still a good 1.3 seconds to Prolol. Now those softs will hold up at the same pace forever. Back into the final chicane. 4 more laps to go. Prolol on course to win for the first time. Only 2 points to his name from these first 13 rounds. Yet here he is on course to potentially add another 25. Pope has the fastest lap back. And he'll have the DRS this time. DRS deployed. No trouble. 210 miles an hour. For Touchy Pope, a whole 15 miles an hour faster than Prolol. He's getting a good about half second there. That was incredibly quick. One of the fastest runs down that straight I've ever seen in my life. And it looks like Pope could potentially get the job done and get the drop on Prolol. Those mediums he's got on the Alfa Romeo won't hold out forever. How much do they have left in them? Pope now hauling himself just about into DRS range. Those softs would have done 5 laps by the time they crossed the line. That's about half their lifespan gone. The question isn't whether they'll make it to the end, or whether or not they'll hold out at the same pace. This blistering pace he's been producing for laps of these last few laps since the restart. Further back, Landlord's still struggling. It does look like Blaze will hold on to the championship lead unless Landlord can do something about it. PJ Keller dropping back now. Websy and Curtis now on the chase. Pope now 2 tenths behind. Going into the last corner. It's now just 1 tenth. It's going to be very exciting here. Pope went a bit wide there. Going for that sort of slow in, fast out approach. Prolol. Only a quarter or so of his battery left. Pope's got well over half. Pope looks to the inside. And that'll be the lead change. Touchy Pope back into the lead for the first time. And already pulling away. Prolol's going to have to use everything he's got here in order to chase Pope down. The DRS now in his hands. However, I doubt the DRS alone will be enough. I should think once he pulls out of DRS range, that'll be the race. BJ up into the points now. All contact with him and Atty. I'm starting to see the sun come through the clouds just a little bit here. AlphaTauri and McLaren side by side. And Alpha might be looking around trying to sneak back into the points positions in these last few laps. Lycon's behind him in 12th on fresh softs. I say fresh, they're about as fresh as Popes are up front. Websy closing on Ethan. Kurt's about a second back. Pope, his lead now at 8 tenths. And he's out of DRS range. Once to get to the detection zone, that might just be it for this race. As the sun parts the clouds, all Pope has to do now is hold on for just 2 laps and he will win here in Belgium. Websy is back there in 4th because the race to the podium is not quite done yet. We could see both Prolol and Ethan slip off it if Curtis can catch up. Websy looking around, Ethan up the inside. Prolol's lead is quickly a thing of the past, quickly dispelled. One soft tyre runner has dispatched the 2 leaders. Ethan, for the first time today, since the opening lap, finds himself in front of Prolol, and now he's got a penalty, and that will not help his case. Websy to the outside, gets 1, and now getting the other as well. That's a sensational pass there from Websy, who looked almost boxed in, but now in 2nd place as Prolol covers off Ethan once again. 1.5 seconds between Ethan and Curtis back there in 5th place. Can the Mercedes driver still get the job done in these late stages? PJ Keller about 8 tenths back. It's another 3 to Ericsson, and yes, about 4 to Landlord. Lycon and Alvar now guys in P11. Yellow flag set to 2. Who was that for? And that's for Landlord. Oh, that's a big crash. Landlord and Slowdowns are both out of the race. And all of a sudden, any points Landlord was going to gain, gone just like that. Blaze will hold on to the championship lead. That was a terrible crash there. Snowbound had nowhere to go. As we're down to just 13 cars. Pope now a lap away from winning here in Belgium. Websy 2 seconds back. Prolol doing everything he can to chase down the soft tyre Ferrari. Curtis now within DRS range of Ethan. However, it looks like it'll still be enough for Ethan to finish perhaps down 7th. Curtis will take 4th regardless of what goes down here on this last lap at minimum, but can he potentially take 3rd off Prolol? It remains to be seen as Pope starts his final lap up front. Yellow flag, sector 1. That's BJ's gone around. And all of a sudden, all the points that BJ was going to score, out of the window. Down to P12 now. That puts Alvar back inside the points. But he wants more. He could try and get Lycon now for 9th. It's all unravelling on this final lap here in Belgium. And at the head of it all, it looks like Pope's on course still to take victory. He's played the strategy to a T here, using that second safety car to his advantage, bolting on the soft tyres, losing track position, and fighting through the order as BJ gets hit with a time penalty to compound his race further. It's looking like our podium is more or less set here. And Curtis and PJ Callum will round out the top 5, I should think. Unless I'm completely wrong, which would be the first time. Pope now a sector away from an emphatic victory that's gone from a race in the wet to the sun parting the clouds and it being a dry sprint to the finish on soft tyres for him. He's managed to make it work. Yellow flag further back, and that is Alvar who's gone around. He might lose out in the points. He will lose out in the points. Alvar out the points paying places. Pope rounds the final corner, and Touch Me Pope will win for the first time this season here in the Racers Driving League. He wins in Belgium. Websy, Prolol, Ethan 4th, finishing 5th. Curtis in 4th place in the end. And Pope, one of the last two times I saw him win was, well, at least in another league. I've seen him win in Belgium before. He's won in Belgium again. However, the last performance for him was arguably a lot more dominant. This one he's really had to work for. It's been a brilliant evening of racing. I asked for a brilliant race on my birthday, and they've delivered. So good birthday present, at least on my end. And Pope, well deserving there of driver of the day. Great stuff. Pope, who wasn't even here at the start of qualifying, was on his way home. Now, on top of the step of the podium, the man who wears the Yano Otmir skin, he certainly drove like Otmir today, as I love to say, as he brings home the victory. What a run for him. Websy comes home second, and Prolol, who drove such a brilliant race here, coming home in third. I'm sure he'll no doubt be satisfied with that. However, it could have been the victory. It, in all reality, should have been the victory. Of course, not to say Pope's victory isn't deserved in the slightest. Of course he deserves it. Prolol deserves it just as much. But just lost out at the end. So there are your final results then. Touch Me Pope wins the race. Websy in second place. Prolol third. Curtis in 4th place. Ethan 5th. PJ Callum in 6th. Ericsson 7th. Lycon 8th. Huggy Bear 9th. And Alvar rounds up the points paying place. And yet he managed to get it in the last stage thanks to penalties, I believe. Because Atty just got that many penalties at the end of it. 18 seconds worth. So Atty over 11th. BJ 12th in the end. Cotney Goblin 13th. And then all the retirees in the race. Sniper Hunter, Landlord, JB, Wardy, Zach Sherman, and Salve Blaze, the pole sitter, out. So neither one of the Salve score, which means that play will resume as it was next week in the Dutch Grand Prix on the 24th of October. So make sure to be around for that. Until next time, you guys, I've been Zach RC. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next race. Goodbye.